Chat. Oh man, chat. I said I wanted to have a fun classic stream. My first stream back. We are on it. DDG submitted these messages in as court evidence of highly threatening suicide and attempting to control them. Let's read these messages. I've been waiting, chat. I've been waiting all day to read these messages. I haven't read them at all. I wanted to live react to these messages on stream. Mind you, I've been smoking since I was 15. I dropped out of college after one semester. Please don't start roasting me as I'm reading this. Please. This is proof. You leave me hanging as a mother. You don't step up when, what the fuck is she? Okay, she is too emotional. You don't step up when I need you to. I'm begging you. I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. This is last year. Okay. I'm gonna bill myself tonight. My son will not be around for it. I hate you forever. You can have him and let her be his mom. I can't believe you. I'm sorry. I can't believe you hella small. It's crazy. I hate you. You are the most horrible person I've ever met. I wish I didn't have to fight with you, but you continue to talk down to me every time. Where's his messages? And okay, what the fuck? And what rings? What the fuck is this? Chat, what the fuck is, and whatever this shit is about exchanging my son in a money deal for views? What the fuck? And openly flirt and help every other woman in the world but me. You hate me and want me to die. Whoa, I want to die because of you. I want to die. I never want to be here again. I hate this all. I hate this life. This is insane. Oh my God. Answer the phone. Answer the phone. I'm going to try one more time. If you don't answer, it's over forever. I'm not playing Daryl. That's it. I just want to be left alone, please. I'm calling for help. I have a knife. Oh my God. This is in 22, by the way. This is before Halo, right? Because something I've been seeing, so many people have been trying to get off the fact of, oh, well, it's gotta be, this is all just postpartum. Nigga, how you got postpartum pre the baby? What the fuck? You just crazy at that point. I'm calling for help, but why don't care? Do you? Okay. Have a knife for what? I'd have been said that. First of all, Jesus Christ, she types like a fucking redacted person. Lord D, like this is insane work. Nah, she's actually crazy though. Like I was given the, what the fuck? Oh, well, this is breaking news. Baptiste, whatever the fuck her name is giving her side of Daryl sleeping with her, apparently. Here we go.
Context behind these accusations in general is stemming from a group trip that our whole friend group went on, right? Our whole friend group went on this trip, and everyone on this trip can confirm there was nothing weird going on. I wasn't even staying near them. It was for someone's birthday. Let's start there. There was never anything sneaky going on. Like, me and Daryl's relationship has always been strictly, started off as business. Obviously, if you know, you know, like, he put me onto YouTube, started off there, grew into a friendship, has always remained platonic. So it's very unfortunate. Like, I know people already have this narrative because it's just hard to believe that a guy and a girl can be friends. Like, it's hard to believe that me and him or any other guy and girl can just strictly be platonic friends, okay? But nothing has ever gone on past that, ever.
Yeah, chat, I don't believe her. She lying. The bitch is lying. She lying. You want to know how I can tell? Look, chat, I've been taking psychology classes on the side, and there are certain subtle cues a person makes that's a dead giveaway she lying. Chat, here we go. This nigga's so damn stupid. Chat, here we go. I can show y'all the cues that I picked up in my psychology class that I've been taking on the side. Here we go.
Context behind these accusations in general is stemming from a group trip that our whole friend group.
First things first, anybody when they're trying to defend themselves and they gotta move their hands, dead giveaway. Dead giveaway, man. I learned this in my psychology class. Dead giveaway, man. She's trying to trick you, lull you to sleep into believing what she's saying by moving her hands. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Went on, right? Our whole friend group went on this trip, and everyone on this trip can confirm there was nothing weird going on. I wasn't even staying near them. It was for someone's birthday. Let's start there.
Hand movement, not being able to keep steady eye contact through the duration of her entire explanation. She has to break eye contact, look around, look left, look right. Who the fuck is anywhere? You're supposed to look at your camera at your chat. Chat, if I'm trying to deny accusations, you know where I'm gonna look? Right at you. I'm not looking here, 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 and my hands ain't moving. Learned this in psychology class. Let's continue.
There was never anything sneaky going on. Like,
she has to look down continuously to read her statement. Strike 3. This bitch is out of here. She's a liar. She's a liar. The bitch is lying. Anyway, let's continue. I think that's it. That's it in terms of the information. Let's react.
Live, good folks. We are live. We about to break this thing down, man. So DDG has finally responded. A couple of weeks ago, we went through Halle Bailey's temporary restraining order that she placed on DDG, and it had him looking like a madman that couldn't control his emotions, that was super insecure, a lot of different things. But hey, like I told y'all once again, and I'll continue telling you, if you looked at that and said, dang, DDG, you got some issues, you seem like you're the problem. If you looked at it that way, it was designed to be that way. And it worked because the judge had to go ahead and say, all right, before I find out more information, let me go ahead and grant you a temporary restraining order. We can go ahead and set a hearing for his response, things of that sort. The judge did what he could do with what was in front of him. Now DDG is filing his own temporary restraining order after being muzzled by the judge in that situation. He couldn't speak about Halle on the social media, couldn't speak about her on his stream, and also couldn't speak about his own son. Couldn't talk about his own son. So it was an interesting situation. Also, she filed for full custody. And like I said, right now we're about to go through his response, just simply fighting for his child. And I'm already seeing some wild response, simply fighting for his child. And
all right, I'm not here to get Darmon Wiggins's point of view. I just want to see this shit so I can read it my damn self, man. God damn. Let's see the documents. All right. All right. Boom, 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 boom. All right, cool. Constituents of hearing currently calendar, blah, 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 domestic violence, restraining order, blah, 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 yeah, none of this. Damn. All right, yeah, blood. Go ahead and read that.
Start right here. So the earliest documented incident, let me see if I can adjust the screen.
Yeah, go ahead and read that, bro.
That may be good enough for y'all. All right, so it says the earliest documented incident occurred in March 2022 when the parties were in Atlanta. After an argument, respondent attempted to leave the residence in his effort to de-escalate the situation. Petitioner responded by repeatedly calling and texting him, eventually claiming she had a knife and implying she would harm herself if he did not return. This event is significant not only because it demonstrates suicidal ideation, but because it marked the beginning of a recurring pattern in which petitioner would threaten or feign self-harm as a manipulative tool to control respondents' movements and decisions within the relationship. Now, I heard about a lot of
So chat, basically, this was the beginning. Her threatening with the knife was the beginning of the end, essentially. Halle, who has already self-admittedly came out and said she's a toxic person, she's a problematic person in her relationships, she is not a goody two-shoes girl. She's already made these claims and said this. She begins to threaten her own life, threaten her child's future, and threaten the father of her child with violence. Man, Black women are down terrible.
Dudes doing that. Girls say dudes do that a lot. It's interesting to hear it from the other end with a lady doing it. Okay. Have y'all ever experienced that? Let me know in the chat if y'all has a partner ever, used self-harm to manipulate you before. Let me know in the chat. All right. So it says this behavior escalated in August 2023 during a volatile confrontation in which petitioner seized respondents illegally owned firearm during an argument and left the house in possession of the weapon. Respondent, unable to locate her and concerned for her safety, immediately alerted his mother and her fiance, who ultimately found petitioner outside the home still holding the firearm. She was described as emotionally unwell, incoherent, and potentially suicidal. This incident is particularly grave. Petitioner not only placed herself at risk, but she utilized a lethal weapon and in a context that clearly endangered the physical and psychological safety of those around her, including the couple's unborn child. So I know a lot of ladies are going to say postpartum. I'm not here to argue that at all. I'm
here to argue it. And guess what, bitch? You can't have postpartum pre-having the baby. Fuck, nigga. You can't have postpartum before you're pregnant. Dumbasses. This shit happened. Nigga said that's prepartum. This shit happened 23. There was messages of her with a knife in 22. So she was pregnant in 23. I don't think she was pregnant around this time that she threatened this nigga with a knife. So this whole, it's postpartum. Oh my God. It's just postpartum. Men don't understand. Shut up. Because that's not what this is. This is a crazy woman showing her crazy tendencies and it's finally getting exposed. Damn, that was a lot of spit on my lip. Jesus.
But I'm sure that's going to be a lot of reasoning for some ladies that she's probably experiencing postpartum. Wait, this is before the child was born. Do you experience postpartum before the child? Okay, whatever. All right, so this is before the child was born. Okay, all right. So that ain't postpartum. All right, so the most serious episode occurred on March 21st, 2024, when petitioner sent a series of alarming text messages threatening to kill herself and suggesting that their infant son, Halo, might also be harmed. She then proceeded to drive her vehicle with the child in the car while in an emotional, unhinged state. Respondent was so disturbed by her condition that he immediately contacted petitioner's godmother to intervene. The implications of this incident are deeply troubling. Petitioner placed the life of the minor child in direct jeopardy by operating a motor vehicle in a mental state that she herself described as suicidal. The risk of the child's physical and emotional well-being was imminent, severe, and wholly avoidable, yet precipitated by petitioner's unregulated emotional impulses. So this right here, for sure, people are going to throw in the category of postpartum. All right, so in September and November 2024, petitioner again sent messages threatening to end her life during times of emotional distress and conflict with respondent. These continued threats, documented in Exhibits 4 and 5 of respondent's declaration, demonstrate that petitioner's instability is not a thing of the past, but a present and ongoing danger. So this.
I'm not gonna lie. I said this in the space earlier, and the more I hear this, the more I'm really standing on this take. She needs a break. All jokes and all trolls aside, all bullshit aside, if she's genuinely experiencing postpartum depression, the last thing she need, this is an hour video on this subject. That's what I'm saying. This is crazy. If she's genuinely suicidal, if she's genuinely threatening self-harm to her and putting her child in danger, she does not need Halo at all until she calms the fuck down and gets over the postpartum shit. However long that takes for her. But she does not need to be around that child until this shit is figured out, because this shit is dangerous. I don't know if there's anybody in the chat that has experiences with women who are going through postpartum, because my girl dealt with it after our first kid. I looked into it for baby number 2 for like how bad shit really can get. And man, oh man, there are some crazy ass stories of women when they're when they have postpartum depression and the shit they decide to think is okay to do. There was a video I seen. This shit was on YouTube. This shit surfaced on Twitter too. A woman genuinely was shaking the shit out of her child because it wouldn't stop crying. Like the baby wouldn't stop crying, and she had it and was just shaking the fuck out the baby. And that type of shit is scary, because women will make it seem like women will approach those situations with zero care in the world for anything outside of the, oh, well, she's a woman and she's going through woman things. Look, man, at a certain point, these built-in excuses for women gotta go. We already gave you the fact that 1 week when you bleed out your vagina hole, you turn into a bitch, and we just chop that up to, oh, well, hormones. I don't give a fuck what the situation is. Harming a child is a no-go for me. I don't give a fuck how depressed you are, how chemically unbalanced you are, what the excuse could be. There is no excuse for harming your own child, in my opinion. I don't give a fuck. I never give a fuck. I've had an argument with my girl about this. That is where I draw the goddamn line. I don't play when it comes to putting your child at danger because what, you're mentally ill? That's fine. Put a straitjacket on and go in asylum if you're that mentally unwell that you're going to harm your child. There is no excuse for that. And I'm saying this as a man. We don't get an excuse. My kids drive me crazy sometimes. I don't get an excuse to lash out and do anything. There is no excuse for that. I'm so stressed. There is none. I'm supposed to just deal with the hand that I was dealt with, which is, these are my kids. I had them. I have to deal with those bad days. You have to deal with that. There is no scapegoat for that. But women have that, which is crazy. Women have it so bad that they're seeing situations that have happened before the child was conceived and they're saying it's postpartum. At that point, the bitch is just crazy. If she had postpartum depression before Halo was conceived, the bitch is just crazy. Maybe Deadbeat Duke is on to something. Deadbeat Duke ain't never had to deal with postpartum, which is even crazier because if he's not around, those kids are just with the mothers who have postpartum. So God knows what the fuck Deadbeat Duke's kids have been through. But I digress. We're getting off task.
This is as soon as November. This is last year. So her threats have recurred during conflicts regarding custody, parenting time, and respondents' refusal to reconcile or conform to her emotional demands. Each instance reveals a troubling pattern of impulsive behavior, manipulative threats, and disregard for the emotional and physical safety of the minor child. So taken together, this pattern paints a picture of a parent.
I ain't gonna lie, we ain't gonna need all this. I'm not gonna need an hour's worth of court documents to go over and go through what I already know, which is, I'm not gonna hold you, gang. I could have told, Jesus, any nigga who's dealt with anything could have told you breaking up with your baby mom and then proceeding to go do so much female-driven content while also having your son randomly be around and not communicating where you're going to take him was going to cause this issue. I just seen somebody put in there, she threatened to kill herself because this nigga said Sexy Red was a good rapper. She was insecure, which, don't get me wrong, DDG was doing content with some badass women. He has been clicked up with some badass women. So she's definitely justified in feeling insecure, especially coming off of having a kid, where she is mentally, that nigga was not helping. Then y'all break up and then you triple down on the content. You triple down on linking up with cooking with Kaya and whoever. And yeah, you tried the, all peace, love, and prosperity to my baby mama. She's so great. Nigga, she did not give a fuck about none of that. All she seen was you around bitches. When I say bitches, I mean bitches. A copious amount of bitches. A fucking conundrum amount of bitches. A fucking army of bitches. A fucking brigade of bitches. Just bitches. Just drowning in bitches. And you thought that she wasn't gonna fucking get mad and trip out. Why? Because, I don't care who she fuck with. Yeah, okay. If she spent that first month of y'all being broke up on goddamn stream with banana slings all around her, just everything, just slinging around her shit, just slinging around her shoulders while she's streaming, you'd have been sick. Hello guys, it's Holly and Halo and King Banana Swing. Like, you would have been sick. Oh, you would have been sick to your stomach. But hey, what do I know? All I know is, at the end of the day, I still feel like both sides aren't telling the full story. Both sides are neglecting to tell the full story. We're still failing to grasp the full magnitude of everything going on with them. And eventually, it'll get to the point to where the truth comes out about what both actually did. And they just split joint custody, because that's really where this should go and how it should end. It should not end with one person getting sole custody. It shouldn't end with both of them just getting all this ridiculous amount of hate. It should end in silence, and it should end in private, and it should end with both of them getting joint custody of their child, because they both clearly love their son, and they both clearly want to be in their son's lives. They both clearly want to be parents. So just leave it at that. Just be parents. All this extra internet shit is so nasty on both sides. They're both playing internet games. Y'all gotta stop. For the sake of your kid, bro, you gotta stop. It's ending in joint custody of them getting back together. It actually might end in them getting back together. DDG actually get back with that because she's cuckoo, and y'all know what the cuckoo is like. Crazy work. But yeah, man, we done protecting Black women.